Good evening, ladies. Good evening. This is Dr. Carlia East, and welcome to another episode of Wine and Wisdom, where it's time for us to sip, savor, and elevate your mind. I am Dr. East, and today's topic is Daring to Love, Women Conquering Commitment Phobia. Okay, we're dealing with commitment phobia, ladies. How do we balance and embrace a long-lasting relationship? Some of us want to be in relationships, but we're not sure how to actually commit to them, right? Because we're stuck. We're stuck in this rut. And so today's topic is really going to be about me giving you that nugget, that opportunity that you have to go beyond that stumbling block that you keep facing in your relationship. So now, if something that I share with you is a vibe today, y'all know I definitely want you to connect with me by contacting me so we can get together for a call. This is the Be Seen and Heard call for ladies who are high achieving, career minded, but they want that relationship. They're in that relationship. They're trying to navigate it and they're not sure how to find that balance, right? They're not sure where to find that voice. And so I invite you to jump on my Seen and Be Heard call after you listen to this podcast, okay? So that we can have some one-on-one connection so I can get you where you need to be so you can show up confidently every day in your relationship. For those of you that are just meeting me, I am Dr. Carlia East. I am a writer and an author. I'm an empowerment coach, a clinician. I have been in the game for over 20 years helping women reach their highest potential, redefine their resiliency and embrace their authentic selves, which is something that I've been doing along the way as well. And so, and I also do it with wine, which is why I have my wine and wisdom, because this is the perfect opportunity in the space for us to sip, savor, and elevate our mental set. And also for you to get a taste of what it's like to work with me as I help you design your own blueprint, right? Which is your own pathway of reaching your destinies. All right. So let's go ahead and sip and get ready to talk about Emma tonight. That's good right there. That was a good sip. Okay. All right, ladies, let's talk about Emma. So Emma's in a relationship. She's been in a relationship for about 4 or 5 years. She's super happy. She's, career minded. She's in broadcasting, so she's constantly in and out, but she feels completely secure by the relationship that she has. She doesn't feel like he's going to, abandon her or leave her. But at the same time that she's feeling fulfilled and she's feeling loved and she's feeling connected, she also has this grappling fear, right? Emma is afraid to commit. She's afraid to commit, but why? First of all, she's experienced things in the past that have hurt her. She's had relationships that she's relied on in the past that weren't reliable. She's been scarred by abandonment, not even necessarily by relationships as far as intimate ones, but by family members. Folks that are supposed to be there, that are supposed to have her back, weren't there for her. And they were male figures. And so that kind of, changed the dynamic of how she felt and how she trusted and how she felt she could trust men. And so she also had a long-term relationship that ended up super painful, and she was still grappling with that. And her new relationship is really her first true time feeling back in love. She hasn't felt in love in a minute, y'all. Now, if you can relate to this, put a yes, that's me. Okay, just be like, yes, raise your hand, put a one in the comment, and yes, that's me. Because I've been that chick. I've been the one in the long-term relationship, and it didn't work out, and I was a mess before I was able to move on to a relationship. And I had to realize that mess started to bleed over into my career. And it started to bleed over into how I defined myself and how I imagined myself in life, in navigating my relationships, but also navigating, who I am as a person and how I want that to come across. And so that was a lot. Now, what Emma ended up doing is what so many of us do, and she built walls. How many of y'all got walls up, right? How many of you got walls? If you got walls, we just put walls because you got walls up. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have them up, right? They're there for a reason, but they can't stay there forever, because that can't be the definition of how you manifest your love and your life, because you deserve to be loved, right? You're worthy of that reciprocity when it comes to love. But how do you get there when you build these walls? Okay. First of all, the walls come from heartache. And then when you build these walls, your mate that you're trying to connect with is missing that connection because they can't connect with you, right? They can't vibe with you because you have this wall up. And so now there's hesitation that you feel in him, right? He's not talking to you the same way that he used to. You guys aren't going on as many dates as you used to. So now you're feeling like, okay, well, he's just not vibing with me anyway, when that's not the case. You put up these walls that you think are invisible, but these walls that have taught him that he or she, let me be clear, that he or she can't touch you, can't reach you in that particular space. So if I can't reach you, how many ways can I go around if you're blocking me, right? And so We have blocked so many people in our lives, especially intimate relationships, because of past pains that we've dealt with. Okay. Now, many a times our commitment and our fears stop us from going that extra mile, right? For being vulnerable with ourselves and letting our mate know that we completely trust them, because how can we trust them? We haven't been able to trust relationships and friendships, and then that spills over. And then you know what else happens is we parade our relationship around like we're happy when we're not, because we don't want the them on the outside to feel like we're failing or we're flailing or we're not doing well in our own dynamics, when the truth of it is that you're masking for who? This is about your relationship, ladies. How many times have you felt like you lost someone good, or thinking you're losing someone right now because you can't get past you, right? Because you can't get past your pain. You can't get past your thoughts. Like, yes, you guys get along, y'all vibe, y'all have a great time. But when it's time for y'all to talk about where are we going, right? Where's the relationship headed to? You're like, okay, I got careers, I'm boss of that, I know where I'm going with that, but this scares the shit out of you. Like, I don't want to give up who I am as a professional, as this brilliant woman, for this idea of what they may think marriage or relationships or whatever is. See, we have these, misconceived notions and ideas in our minds that we have to get out of. Let me tell you something. In order for you to start conquering your fear of commitment, because you're not going to find it just reading the books, you're not going to find it taking more courses in your career, right? Training yourself. You're not going to find it having all these conversations over and over and over again about things that you're not moving on. Let me tell you what you need to do, ladies. This is your nugget. Y'all ready? You got to start recognizing your patterns. Yeah, it's like just that simple. Start recognizing what you are doing, the pattern, so that you can identify when your behaviors and when you're blocking and when you're building a wall. Do y'all understand me? Recognize your patterns. Let's take a sip on that. For example, take note of repetitive things that you do in your relationship. Take a walk back. What are the things that you've been accused of in your relationships repetitively? Now, yes, we want to think all our exes are crazy, but at the end of the day, the common denominator of all our exes is us. And so at some point, we do have to do some self-reflection and look at ourselves and be like, okay, I know I'm killing it in my career. I know I'm killing it with my family. I know I'm killing it with raising my pets or raising my children. I'm handling this, but I am not handling this relationship thing right. I'm not handling wifing at all. I'm not handling fianceing. I'm not handling girlfriending. Even my booing is terrible, right? So what can I do to do better? First of all, do you tend to pull away when things get serious? Do you crack jokes? Do you create chaos? Do you start separating yourself because you don't want to be connected, right? You don't want to let that last shoe fall off and you be the one abandoned. So let me go ahead and vacate the premises first. Ouch. Oh, did that hurt? Yeah, because we do that. All right. Recognize the patterns, and then you can start addressing them, right? Write it down. Write down what you do. Keep a journal or take notes of all the behaviors that you see yourself repetitively doing. When things get serious in a relationship, what do? What are the behaviors that you do? Do you vacate? Do you make excuses? Do you self-sabotage? Do you call up old flames, right? Do you pause the relationship and say you have too much stuff on your plate at work? What are the excuses that you're doing? What are you saying? Be specific about those behaviors. Own your shit, right? Because every time you do this, you are blocking your opportunity to really feel love and give love in a way that you absolutely deserve. Absolutely. Did you hear me? You deserve to be loved like that and to show love like that. But at first, you got to check yourself. You have to recognize the patterns of your own behaviors and what you're doing, because guess what? You're the common denominator in this. And once you recognize your own patterns, then that may help you recognize, am I making bad choices? Oh, maybe that's the reason. But see, if you want to work with me on that, we got to get together, okay? Because if you vibing with me right now, just imagine where I can take you and how I can balance you out so that you're killing it in both the bedroom and the boardroom. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Because we can rock all areas, okay? But first, I want you to definitely jump on an opportunity to connect with me on your Seen and Be Heard call, because this is an opportunity for you to definitely figure out your own blueprint to having that professional, that romantic relationship, and that balance. We got to develop and figure out what are the identifying root causes of what you're experiencing, find and develop healthy boundaries so that you can communicate effectively with your mate, and then challenge those, misconceptions and beliefs that we've all been indoctrinated and stereotyped to believe, just as women out here trying to balance relationships and be corporate, right? All these things. If that makes sense to you, definitely click the link that's in the registration above so that you can register to meet with me one-on-one so that we can vibe and figure out what's going on. Now, if we feel like we're vibing that call and we want to go further, we can, and we can discuss that at that point. But for now, aren't you just tired of second guessing yourself in your relationship? Aren't you ready to step up and be seen and be heard fully in every dynamic? Again, it's time. Okay. It's always a blast, y'all. Y'all know I get geeked up about these podcast episodes and I have a great time. Please like, share my information, follow me, let other ladies know that we don't have to just live as corporate and not have love. We can have it all. We just got to figure out how to have it all. Okay. Until next time, I am Dr. East. Continue to love, continue to be an individual, and to be an unapologetic badass, because we know you can and you are. I'll talk to you later, ladies. Bye.